There's a big difference between running a business and actually being supported by one. Most of the women I work with, they're doing everything right on paper. Clients are coming in, everybody's buying, they see the revenue building, but behind the scenes, it's actually a different story. They're not paying themselves what they're worth, or they may not even be paying themselves at all. They're struggling to pay their team. So today I want to share a story that captures all of this. It's about a woman I worked with last year, and she was approaching the seven-figure mark in income. She was highly respected in her industry. She had got a lot of referrals, clients were coming in. But when she came to me, she was actually thinking of shutting her business down. She had been in business for 20 years and she had worked with other coaches, industry specific coaches, but no one had gone into her numbers with her. That's what actually makes the difference. Her business felt heavy. She didn't even know if she should keep the doors open. But from the outside, everything looked great. She was carrying this weight alone. Can you imagine having a seven-figure business and not being profitable? And when she met me, she was actually even embarrassed to say, she should know this by now, she thought. She just felt really behind. As I said, she was running a business for 20 years. Why was the numbers part so hard? Why wasn't she able to make it profitable? Wasn't an intelligence issue? It wasn't a capability issue? Wasn't a visibility issue? Was it a motivation issue? She had all the motivation in the world. What she couldn't see was behind the scenes. So when we started working together, we dove into the numbers. And the first thing we looked at was her pricing. I know, right? Obvious. But it wasn't. She was charging an hourly rate. And I said, what about increasing that hourly rate? Because clearly that's not enough. And she really resisted. She's like, clients will come back to me. They're not going to pay more than this. No one in my industry is charging more than this. Like, I can't charge more. And she felt that her worth was tied to that number. And I get it. So then we talked about going to a flat fee. And she said, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, the scope creep is real with what I do. She was an interior designer and she worked with new builds. So what we ended up doing, we slowed down a minute. Like, okay, let's figure this out together. What can actually work? It's not going to be flat rate and it's not going to be an hourly that you're struggling with. We came up with a hybrid model. So we took that part, the part that she could control in the design part, and we made that the flat rate. And then the part that can sometimes get into scope creep, that stayed hourly with some boundaries that we put around it so that it wouldn't become too burdensome, too much. The biggest shift, the real shift that she had in her business, it wasn't this tweak in her pricing. Because we went on to really learn all the financial pieces of her business So she could understand that at a higher level. She can make decisions on that information. She could feel empowered by her numbers. She could read her reports. She could know if this is working in the future. So the real shift didn't happen when we tweaked her pricing. The real shift happened when she finally understood what all this financial information meant and how to make decisions on. And what she said to me, I'll never forget because I hear it all the time. She said, Audrey, what you gave to me was confidence and clarity. And that was priceless. The amount she invested in my coaching actually paid for itself 40 times over. And that was just in the first year.